This is Via Ferrata, difficulty levels explained. In my opinion, difficulty is influenced by the unknown regarding your own limits, lack of sufficient information, plus the unforeseen of any new experience. Each Via Ferrata is rated a level of difficulty using one of the four widely accepted grading scales: Austrian, German, Italian, or French. Even so, prepare for the worst, because the standard of grading the difficulty level is both subjective and not properly harmonized. The easier to read is the Austrian and the German scales. The Austrian scale rates a Via Ferrata from level A, the easier, up to level E, the more difficult. The German scale rates a Via Ferrata from level K1, the easier, up to level K6, the more difficult. For the Italian and French scales, please check the screen, as they are not as straightforward. Note that the difficulty level of a Via Ferrata is in general given by the most difficult segment you will encounter along your climb of that Via Ferrata. What this means is that many times it might happen that a Via Ferrata feels all the way up as a level B Via Ferrata to then stumble upon a level D segment that might make it very hard to proceed forward. Besides the difficulty level gradings, there are some things one should factor in while deciding the next Via Ferrata to climb. At first glance, maybe they are not obvious, but when you start getting into trouble, they begin to make sense. One subjective difficulty grading scale is your own limitations. If you are not properly trained in crossing bridges, passing overheads, or jumping boulders, for example, even if that Via Ferrata is only rated with the level C of difficulty, for you it might prove harder or the reason you get injured. The time it takes to approach and exit, and the difficulty one makes to get to the base of a mountain and away once the climbing is completed, is another subjective difficulty grading scale you should factor in while planning your next adventure. Many underestimate this, but a rough exit might as well sprain your ankle as any misstep on the Via Ferrata itself. Sometimes, some Via Ferrata might feel easier than their respective difficulty level. This might be determined by the public they address towards. Moreover, believe it or not, the construction style used might impact the perceived difficulty level as well. If, for example, you are used to assist yourself with a German-style, well-tensioned safety steel cable, when climbing first time a French-style Via Ferrata, you might be taken by surprise and make a lot of effort to get to the end of it. A French-style Via Ferrata has the safety steel cable loose with loops at the anchor point. This makes it hard to use as an aid for your progression, and you'll be forced to use the proper climbing and bouldering techniques to get to the top. If you are not used to doing this, you'll find yourself into trouble, and the perceived difficulty level of that Via Ferrata for sure will be above the actual difficulty grade. If you are a beginner, for example, the safest option will probably be to start with a level A or a level B Via Ferrata. If it is not too hard to approach and easy to exit, it is even better. Anything more than level B is extreme and requires careful consideration on your part. On level C Via Ferrata, you will need a reality check with yourself. You must be sure you have enough training and practice to face the elements of a mountain. It starts to become intense, exposed, dangerous. One wrong step and for sure you'll lose control. Level D Via Ferrata is for the seasoned Via Ferrata climber. They become longer, demanding, and with elements hard to transition. On a level D Via Ferrata, you'll find yourself exposed, challenged, forced to show resilience and strength. Level E Via Ferrata is for the experienced mountaineer with a lot of experience on multiple levels, including climbing and bouldering. In general, their challenges are hard to solve transitions that require well-developed climbing skills, absolute control, and sufficient experience to properly manage stress and the unexpected.